Damn, son, where'd you find this? Rock with your boys.
All right, you're looking live in action from generation to generation, Cowboys and sports talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, join my co-host, my dad, and we are live in action on our Saturday night live. You want to say what's up to the people and kind of break down what we're gonna be talking about today?
So what's up to the people? Saturday Night Live. Welcome to the Gen to Gen cast. So we're gonna talk about some just recap the week with the OTAs. Got some, we ain't really showed any George Pickens highlight. Just kind of talk about his game a little bit more. We'll take a
Um,
look at that and see what George Pickens has to offer.
well, I'll put it to you like this: we you know, when we first started our podcast, we were talking about who would be a good addition. Hold on, I gotta fix my hair. We were talking about who would be a good addition to add with CD Lamb. What tier type of receiver would it be good to add? We were looking at a top tier and bottom tier. We were looking at top tier and mid tier. We were looking at top tier, and that consisted of George Pickens. Even though it was like a shot in the dark, I think when we first heard about George Pickens, the rumor was that they were going to bring him back, and that was going to be no question. So we quickly moved on from that.
The Steelers were gonna bring him back.
Yeah, that's what it like when we first started talking about this. That's what the initial rumor was, that they were going to bring him back, and that they were working something out. And right around the time that they started saying that they were going to get a new quarterback, and uh, it kind of just faded out. So then we start talking about trading for a receiver, like a shot in the dark, Hail Mary type of thing from the Jameson Williams talk from Detroit. And we start talking about bottom tier, well, mid tier, like veterans, like we were looking at you really liked, what's his name that you really like,
For who?
the veteran receiver that you wanted us to sign. uh
Was it Rashad Bateman?
no, not Rashad Bateman, the other guy, Keenan, is it Keenan
Oh,
Allen?
yeah,
Keenan Allen.
Keenan
So
Keenan Allen.
guys like that. But when they pull the trigger on George Pickens, man, that's literally getting a number one, adding a number one receiver to your uh to your team. I mean, they couldn't have done any better. I mean, they couldn't have done any better with that. I mean, you couldn't have asked for any other. The he is so good that he's on a level. Now we're on a level with the Bengals, with Jamar Chase, and then now they are considered Batman and Robin. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. We're not. We're better than CD and Pickens is better than that, because
You think Pickens is better than Higgins?
yeah, he's a number one receiver. Yeah,
So how do I increase the volume in my headset, like my headset?
on your microphone.
Just hit the plus button.
Yep. So yeah, he is the only knock on his game, and the only reason why, and I'll put it like this too: everything happens for a reason in the NFL, and you just look at the nature of things. Certain things don't happen if other things happen. Dominoes have to fall in order for things to happen. For instance, like, I mean, you can just break anything down and say, if this didn't happen, if this major thing didn't happen, this wouldn't happen. Like
Mm.
Micah, if Randy Gregory doesn't get doesn't back out the deal and go to Denver, we never know who Micah Parsons is as far as rushing the passer. That just doesn't happen. If if Denver takes doesn't take Patrick Surtain, we wouldn't even have Micah.
Mm.
So things like that happen. So with the George Pickens thing, what happened is he had a bad quarterback his whole career. So if he would have had a good quarterback at any point in his career, he would not be available. They would not have gave him up because he would have been a superstar by now. He has that type of ability. He's that good. The only knock on him is that he has some off the field. Well, not off the field, but he
Hmm.
doesn't know how to calm down in moments like last year when he almost ripped Jordan Lewis' helmet off. You know what I'm saying? After they lost. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like things like that. But um he's the type of guy to me that the spotlight is on him right now. And so when guys like him get the spotlight on them, it'd be like, all right, well, I gotta act right in order to get money. You know, he comes from a humble beginning. You don't think his parents, his mom, his grandmother, and all them people is telling him, look, you got one more shot. You know what I'm saying? This is it. You know what I'm saying? You don't think his people is his agent and all them are telling him, if you want to get paid, you can't do nothing but go in here and be on your best behavior. And for him, someone like him, you know, when he got drafted, you know, that viral meme of him just being in a regular house, not a lot of people there. It was just like him looking at the TV screen, and he had on like basketball shorts and a tank top. It's just like,
I never saw that.
yeah, he come from that type of beginning to where it's just like, dude. And then you could tell the way he being respected by CD and how he being respected by the other people in the group. He gonna be just fine. But what's gonna happen is our offense is finna evolve, and
Hmm.
you know, Shotty, they wanted to be a run first offense, but once Dak start cooking, it's gonna kind of be like it was 2 years ago when it's just like, why run the ball when you can just when Dak is just carving teams up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, you can run the ball, but like the year before last, we were putting up so many points in the first half of quarters because of Dak just killing them with CD and they just eating up people that, you know, our running game really didn't even have time to develop like that. I mean, it did with Tony Pollard. You know, he was a threat. Every now and then he'll just take one to the house because you got to worry about the receiving threat. You know what I'm saying? Because it was dangerous. You got CD or Ferguson, and it's just like these teams. They know that Dak can only throw it to one person, CD, and for
Pull up
some, they
pull up
couldn't.
that pull up those highlights that I sent you. Like
They
while
couldn't.
you going over this, you can show that.
They couldn't guard him. So it's just like, you know, our offensive scheme is finna be. You know, it's finna be different as long as they can block for Dak, which I think they'll be able to do. And I think Tyler Guyton got bigger based off what I seen. I seen some
Latest updates on the photos from practice from what OTAs. I saw that.
he was kind of towering over Tyler Smith.
He's tall. He's 6'8". I mean, he's tall. Is he 6'8"?
He tall. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
So
just saying
6'6", whatever.
yeah, he was looking pretty big. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you know, he got to get his stuff together. And once he does, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he gonna have. Like I said, I'm expecting him to have a better year. You know,
Mm.
I'm not trying to be a homer or anything, but I just expect for him to have a better year, and I expect for him to be able to be, if not, you know, average, right around that line. Because, I mean, that's just, you know, if he can do that, then I don't see any reason why Dak can't return to form like he did uh a couple years ago. You know, last year was different because he got hurt, and everyone's always talking about. Last year he wasn't playing good at the beginning of the season. Well, well, I mean, there's in the NFL, your team plays better towards the end of the year. So I mean, that's just what happens. You know, and then with Dak in our team, you can look at it and you can say, well, a part of the reason why that's the case is because that was Dak's first game. He wasn't playing any they didn't play in any preseason games or anything. So we want to make sure that Shotty has Dak and all of the starters playing in some of these preseason games, because I think that was one of the reasons for our slow start this
Hmm.
year, last year. And you know, I get the paranoia behind Dak when you want to be safe, you know, because of the past. Look at what happened with Tony Romo. I mean, you know what I mean? Like this is to me it's eerie that this is like this. It's the same year. Some of the same things were happening. Uh it's to me it's just like, man, that's kind of scary, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And for me, it's just like that's what I said. The only thing that I wish they would have did was I don't want anything to prevent them from going as far as they can go. And to me, injury is one of those things. But no, injuries gonna be like that for every team. But I just feel like you had an opportunity this offseason to just shore up that by taking someone like my guy that I wanted. I feel like if they would have did something like that or got a better backup quarterback,
I
that
think
it
I
wouldn't
think you
be.
I think you underselling Joe Milton. I think you're gonna be surprised. I'm gonna be just curious. The preseason, that's gonna be one of the reasons to watch the games because you're gonna see Joe Milton play with guys that trying to make the team like Flanoy, Mingo. That's who gonna be. What's that?
Well, that's my highlights.
That's
I had
who
to switch it over to my mic.
Joe Milton gonna be out there with all of these guys that's competing for spots. And they say he looked good in OTAs.
I'm sure. But the thing about it is, it's just like like I always say, let's just be super realistic, people. Okay. Um, is this
You
guy
just
better than
you just need him to win a couple of games. I think he can do it.
in the best case scenario? But in the worst case scenario, like it's been for
You
the
don't think he can
last
be better than Cooper Rush?
no.
I do.
What evidence do we have of that?
Well, we don't have no evidence of it, but I just think he has the tools, he has the mobility.
Do we
So I
think
think
that
he
if he was brought in uh to do what Cooper Rush has done the last few years, he would do what Cooper Rush did? Nah.
I mean Cooper Rush was really impressive. He won I think his record was
Better than
outstanding,
Dax.
but
Yeah.
I just think he has some tools. I just think you're gonna be surprised. Hopefully we don't see him. You're gonna get to see him a lot in preseason. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. He needs to play. The
Jesus.
preseason focus needs to be there are a lot of guys that need to play, but they're gonna have to
Chat
play
going
a
crazy,
lot.
and I haven't even put it up. All right, let's get into this chat. What's good? What's goody? What's good, hoodie? Let's see. For sure.
I can't see the chat.
It's on the screen.
Oh, there you go.
You have to balance. I don't trust Dak throwing the ball all over the place. Don't trust Dak all over.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
about that because a lot of people want to see us be balanced and run the ball. So I understand that comment, and I think with Connor Riley, with Clayton Adams, I think we're gonna be balanced. I think we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna be able to be
Yeah.
balanced. So I
Yeah.
agree with Hoodie Kush and KC. I
But
think we're gonna be balanced.
yeah, we're gonna be balanced for sure. We're gonna be balanced. I'm just saying that it's just like if I think we're gonna be balanced. I'll put it like that. I just think that gonna return to form and we're gonna have a balanced offense, but he gonna be able to do, what he was doing
Yeah,
last year. 2 years ago when he was in the MVP conversation, we were balanced.
yeah. And the
So I just
question
think
is, do we had a running backs, and we're gonna find out. I think pretty quick. I want to talk about and this kind of snuck up on me. I think June 1st is gonna be another. It's gonna be a bigger date this year
mhm.
with some of the things that we kind of looking at. I had in my mind that June 1st was like, you know, way down the road. We a few days away from that.
Yeah, it's slowly but slowly creeping up. You know what I'm saying? Coaching staff, coaching staff is matters. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It matters. Now, coaching staff, that's what I say. The older I get, the more I understand how much coaching really matters. I mean, it's like it's
Mhm.
really, really important. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's very important. And that's one of the things that I used on my arguments when people say, uh, uh, Dak can't get it done in the clutch moments. Well, no, you have to have everyone to get it done. You can't have You can't have your offense playing good and your defense not playing good. You can't have your look at what happened. Look at what happened when we played Green Bay and Dan Quinn in the defense. We was all pointing at Dan Quinn for that game. Like, why is y'all playing in zone all of a sudden? Like, our team had literally were just running all over the place and they have no idea what they were doing. They were just clueless out there. And
Hmm.
so we was like, why didn't Jerry just like march over to the box and tell Dan Quinn like whatever you
McCarthy
doing?
should have did that.
Yeah, it's just like, see, that's coaching. It matters. You know what I mean? It matters a ton. So
Yeah, well, we saw it with Jason Garrett for 10 years. It matters.
it matters. Oh yeah, we definitely know it matters. You know what I mean by looking at that. So it's just like with this new coaching staff, I have a lot of reason to be optimistic. Now, as far as what they're gonna do on the field, I have a lot of reason to be optimistic because we know what kind of background they have and what kind of pedigree they have. We know that and we
Yeah,
can see that.
Connor Riley and Clayton Adams.
We know and we can see that. We know what kind of pedigree. What's our defense coordinator name?
What's up, JV boy?
What's up, JB?
Eberflus.
We know what kind of pedigree Eberflus has. You know, he's supposed to be like a linebacker guru. You
Yeah.
know, and Uncle Keith, I think Shotty, to me, like I said, you know, like I said the other day, no, my dominoes have already failed. Now I'm going into your dominoes. Your dominoes is about Shotty. And I think that so far all the dominoes have failed. Shotty put together a good offensive staff, a good defensive staff. They did a wonderful job in drafting. They changed the philosophy. They actually went and got a number one receiver, another number one receiver. So if these are things that Shotty has a hand in, he's already making a difference.
Yeah.
Because this offseason, we have
He's won the offseason. He's won
for
the
sure.
press conference. He's won the coaching underwear Olympics. He's won it. So now he just gotta
For sure.
take it to the field. I just want to see what his preseason plan is. I don't like the idea of these guys not playing preseason. I think it hurts us at the start of the season. You know,
Mhm.
Andy Reid doesn't do that. And Dak, if he just plays a quarter in each the first two games, the last game nobody's gonna play. We know that, but the first two, let's get Dak out there and get him some chemistry with the guy that you're looking at on our screen. You know, when I hadn't really watched George Pickens highlights just to be real honest, and I kind of just really kind of got off into it this week. I was just really surprised with his run after the catch. I didn't know he had that kind of game. You know,
That's why I
you
said
see
he,
you see the big plays,
yeah,
but like that play right there, he catching the ball in double coverage. He's able to he's able to track the ball. I just
let's say this. He is the best at being at catching the ball in double coverage and catching the ball contested catches. He's number one in that.
hmm
He's
yeah.
number one in downfield plays. He has the most. A lot of people they criticize CD for not having yards per catch like Chase and Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. Well,
Man, I
this
don't know.
guy,
CD is
well,
right
when you
behind Chase with that.
well, yards per catch is like, he third on the list. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to.
I saw some lists this week of the ranked receivers, and the list I saw, CD was number two or number three. Now Chase was one on pretty much every list, which is Chase is my one. I can't remember where Pickens was, but yeah, I was just kind of just surprised with his. Now this game right here against Washington, I watched this game
I
and
did too.
he dominated. He really won the game.
He did.
They was doubling him. They had their best guy on him. None of their corners could cover him.
And he was making it look easy. He was just beating them by himself.
So, but yeah, hopefully him and Dak can get some preseason chemistry
If they
going.
if him and Dad get any kind of if him and Dad get any kind of chemistry, yeah, everybody they're gonna be in trouble.
So Keith, I think with the halftime adjustments, we just got to see, um, kind of what Shotty does. We're gonna know by game 4 or 5. Kind of what we're looking at there. Um, it's let's see what is hoodie Kush saying.
That's what I'm trying to read. Now, what's crazy thing is Pickens is tops in the league and Dak is also tops in the league. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's crazy. That's why I said this is like, we got to give them credit. We got to give the front office credit because they haven't done nothing like this in a long time. This was better than the Cooper trade. So
I think so.
yeah, I mean, I think so. Lamar Cooper was kind of, he had been on two different. No, he had been on one team, but he was kind of in I guess in later in his career, I guess you could say.
What I
And
do notice is Pickens, he kind of pushes off a lot. Like then the playmaker was notorious for that. He
mhm.
never got called for it, and he ain't getting called for it. But he got a little power forward push off thing he's doing. The
well,
playmaker did that a lot.
well, the reason why it's coming off too, it comes off the screen is because his routes are just so it's all
Hmm.
over the place that he just like he's naturally running into people.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
got that. He's got that little look at that catch right there. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it's just like he's just you
And so
can't.
the other thing that I'm seeing, as I said, I'm looking at this Philadelphia game. We lining up with some guys that's gonna take the field. They not gonna be, you know, just afraid of the limelight. They're not gonna be
They're
timid in
not
that game.
passive. They're not
No.
passive. They
So
gonna be.
they're gonna be mentally ready. It's just a matter of, like I said, they're gonna try to bum rush us in the first part of that game. And what you want to do is just kind of keep your footing, and you want to steal that game at the end. That's probably the way it's going to play out.
No,
But
I do want to mention. I do want to talk about that. So the adjustments after halftime and during the game is key. And no, Jason and Mike McCarthy were not good at doing that. See, he said we don't call that. Hoodie said we don't call that push off anymore. That's when the wide
hmm
receivers understands leverage.
yep,
Correct. You know what I'm saying? You just when you understand, and it's a natural thing to some receivers like him. It's just
yeah.
a
Well,
natural thing. And
Michael
so
Irvin was the best at it.
right, I agree. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I agree. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's just a natural thing that some receivers just are able to do that. And
Yeah, he just understanding where you are, just bodying the cornerback, and
CD is like that too.
mhm,
He creates separation at the
yeah,
drop of a dime. It's just like you'll be with him the whole time until it's time to catch the ball, and all of a sudden he's 2 yards away from you. So, yeah, but I mean, this George Pickens trade, I mean, it's really got the fans. We was all saying that after this year that the Cowboys are going to need to do something to bring the fans back into it, and they've done that.
yeah. He looks like he kind of reminds me a lot of Antonio Brown. He's just taller.
I mean, he got that type of game, and the fact that he finna get with a quarterback like that, I just don't. There is no, like I said, there's nothing that will stop us except injury. I
Well, this
don't
is
see it.
against Dallas right here.
Yeah, and he was one of them ones against us. We had to sack the quarterback because you know every time they threw it to him, he caught it pretty much.
Hmm.
So, it wasn't nobody that you could put that could blanket him, and it just didn't work that way.
Yeah, he's a high energy guy. He plays aggressive. He's always trying to get the ball upfield. You can't really throw him a bad ball.
Mm-mm.
'Cause he's
Nope.
gonna go get it.
He gonna go get it no matter if he's covered or not. He can be double covered. He's still gonna go get it. And Dak, we be looking at Dak like Dak always, people like to say Dak is inaccurate, but PFF says that he's probably one of the most accurate quarterbacks. Dak does that a lot. Dak throw the
Yeah, Dak,
ball
Dak is accurate.
and it'd be like it'd be like why did he throw that? That was too close. We see that a lot to where it's like that was too close. And so when he does that with George Pickens, it's not gonna be too close. So
Yeah, and Miles, appreciate you joining in, nephew. But I think the chemistry they working on that. That's kind of what they've been doing this off season. Again, it's off season. It's like what do you expect them to say? But I do think that they got some guys in the locker room that just have good chemistry. So I think last year, in the last few years, you kind of had that situation with Michael and Tank. It's kind of like you had the old school, new school. That really wasn't mixing well. With Tank, everybody appreciated Tank's what he did for the team and all of that, but that's gonna be better this year with Micah just being the true leader of the defense, and so I think the chemistry is gonna be there. They gotta look at this run after catch right here. He's dynamic. So yeah, I think the chemistry and the culture that's being shaped right now. We kind of like the way everything is sounding, but we're gonna see. Look at this play right here.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and then also you'll notice too, talking about chemistry. Uh, 49 was exactly right. Talking about chemistry, that's what Shotty is really honing in on too. We
Hmm.
keep hearing about. We know Shotty and his dad. His dad is a legendary. So when it comes to chemistry, when it comes to those type of things, that's a spot that Shotty exceeds in. He excels in. He shines in that area. Just the things that he's doing, moving the locker room. I mean, moving
Hmm.
the lockers around, and then he made a comment the other day when he was just like he can't tell these players to go out with each other outside of the
Hmm.
stadium or outside of practice, and he's not doing it. So he said, so like, I'm taking he's been taking the guys out to have dinner and going to play one-on-one basketball. But see, that's what it's about. It's about building chemistry. You just want to know who you're playing with. So they're doing a
Yep.
good job at creating a new face of the Dallas Cowboys. Like this is a new thing, and out with the old, in with the new. And that's kind
Yep.
of like what's going on here. We got one of the youngest teams in the NFL, and it's kind of looking like that. Dak is considered an old guy right now. He's, you know what I mean?
And everybody's talking about the energy, which is important.
Yeah.
They're gonna. I think they're gonna play. They're gonna play energized. So what I expect when we go to Philly, I think we're gonna play with a lot of energy. We're gonna play with a lot of you know, um, tenacity and
Umph.
yeah, a lot of umph. And we're gonna just now you don't again you just don't really know how these games are gonna go. But I think still one of the things I'm really still concerned about is just stopping the run. I still think we got a couple of moves to make, and so that's what I was saying. Last year we all thought that June 1st was going to be like a real big deal. I think maybe this year, it could be a big deal with somebody like a DJ Reader, some of these other guys that we might be able to snap up. I got to ask you what you think about, and I don't think it's going to happen, but the Jalen Ramsey thing, we saw that yesterday. So is it just a typical thing where somebody's just always connecting players to the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think so. Cause and I mean, I think so. I don't see nothing happening with Jalen Ramsey. I mean, it would we are a potential spot for him, but like I said, I just think that you know with the amount of corners that we have on the roster, that a lot of them just hurt, and then on top of that, the need for defensive tackle to stop the run. Those two things right there, to me, just outweighs the need for Jalen Ramsey. I think we lost my dad. I don't know where he'll be back on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, but I just think that we just I think that we just that kind of outweighs the need for Jalen Ramsey. The fact that we have uh so many corners on the roster. We got Elam, then we got Butler. He's hurt. Got Kalen Carson, who's a fifth round pick coming
I
off an
think I
injury.
think we're gonna be relying on Elam in that first game.
Yeah,
Kalen Carson, I was telling you the other night, I forgot that he was a fifth rounder. For some reason, I thought he was a third rounder. So, you know, fifth round guys, it's 50-50. Bland guys like that. You
I
have
mean,
some
well,
guys
Bland, Trayvon coming off injury, he's starting on pup, so he's not going to even be available until game 6 or game 7.
they need to start. They need to start Ravel on pup too, but I'm still
Hmm.
not understanding the Bland thing. I'm not understanding some of the fans don't like Bland. Shout out to Henry the Moore. I was watching his show last night. He is saying the same thing that I'm saying, that they need to get Bland signed. So, you know,
Yeah. I mean,
but
yeah, I don't understand what that's about. They need to sign Bland. I don't know. I don't get what people are talking about. He came in last year and he played awesome as soon as he got here. So I think with guys like him, this is what the fans gonna get upset with the Cowboys about, because it's just like guys like him that's a 5th round pick. You're supposed to sign him early. You know, there's no reason to reset the market with Deron Bland. But that's
Hmm.
but that's the type of thing that they do. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's just like, well, you're supposed to sign him early because he the upside on his career. He was a 5th round pick. He's supposed to be signed, and you got to sign him. But he said, I'm gonna say Dak tortures the Eagles every year, and to be honest, it was with one receiver. Now he has two number one receivers. Dak is about
Yep.
to light teams up past the run.
Dak has
I
no
agree.
fear of the Eagles. No.
No, no, no. And I agree with that totally, 100%. Pass to run team. That's what it's gonna
And
be.
I was thinking about this the other day. In 23, we played them up there earlier in the year. We really could have won the game. We
Yeah.
got down on the goal line toward the end of the game. We had 3 shots. Schoon didn't run a good route, and we lost. But we came back later that year, and we just smoked them at home.
Yeah.
That was the game when Gilly played his best game.
Yeah. When
So
they were just we
this
just
year
wiped the
could
floor. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this year could be the same. It could be a tough game on September 4th. We may not pull it out, but when we play them again later, I think the same thing. We can smoke them.
And then on top of that, let's not forget that year in 23 when we beat them at the end, when we smoked them, that first game, we almost won that game, but
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
we got down to the goal line and we got negative 40 yards. Remember, we got down to the goal line and they got like 4 penalties in a row, and it took us back to the 40.
Yep.
And we still got down to like the 5.
And I think it
So
was somebody. Was it the right tackle or the left tackle that was killing us on that last drive? Somebody kept losing their. They was it. It was our left tackle. Who was our left tackle then? They kept getting beat on that drive, and then I think we had penalties. It wasn't a good, but again, we were right there at the end, but then later that year we beat them.
it says Hoodie said, let me change the music. Hoodie said that September 4th is Dak's mom's birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's gonna be crazy. And I was also saying to myself too, I think that they're gonna try to sign Micah on that day. That's what
Yeah,
I
and
think.
they need to get Michael signed before or during camp. I saw he said it was Tyron Smith. I remember one of the tackles hurt us on that last drive.
Yeah, it was Tyrus.
But yeah, I saw some little cryptic messages from Micah earlier this week. I think he's kind of getting frustrated with the whole process. Jerry made the comment that he hadn't talked to him in weeks. So the Cowboys are doing their typical, deadline makes deals for no reason. Their cap is great. They know exactly what Michael's gonna get paid. They know the numbers. There's just no reason for him not being signed. So hopefully, Shotty and Micah can just start putting some weight on the front office to get this deal done. But I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they get it done before camp, because camp is still we 2 months away.
And then also, y'all, I like to be like, that's one of my things, one of my claim to fame is I'm just like, when it comes to like, let's just look at reality. Like, and what's the most, I call it the law of probability. So it's just like, what does the law of probability say about Michael being signed before the season starts? I think we will all agree that it's almost 100%, right? So
Yeah.
when we were talking about this last year, what did we say? We said that the Cowboys are going to do the normal thing, right? We said that Michael will probably be seen. And what's up, B Bird? We said that Michael will probably be seen at Philly games and all that and all
We
that.
ain't even got to that part.
Right.
It,
And
wa- it ain't gonna come to that.
but we said that though, right? We said it's
Unfollow the Cowboys.
unfollow the cat. It's gonna be the normal thing, right? That they all do, correct? And
Yeah, I think the addition of Shotty has kind of wiped all of that out.
see, and Shotty said the other day, Shotty was when they was talking about Micah's contract, Shotty was acting like, listen, we don't even need to talk about that because it's not a big deal at all, y'all. Like, Micah is the leader. He said it. Micah is the leader of our defense, and
Mhm.
so he was just like, like yesterday I asked him to come because it's the first day and it's voluntary, and he came. I mean, and I told him that he doesn't have to be here for the rest because it is voluntary. So I don't expect Michael to be here. He's going through something to where he's negotiating business right now, and we have business, we have agents, and we trying to get paid. So I mean, he don't need to be here. You know what I mean? He needs to take care of what he got to take care of, and that's just the way this go. And like I was saying the other day, are we tripping on Micah not coming to practice? Like Allen Iverson was saying, we talking about practice. Like,
Well, they're installing a new defense,
I
so
mean, but
that's
like,
important.
how many times in Micah's career in the NFL again within the Cowboys has he had to do that? Every
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
So I mean, what are we saying? And like I said last year, he wasn't even into it like that. He was just like, he just picked it up because he's just that dynamic of a player. So I expect for him to do the same thing this year. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be the person that's calling the plays on defense. He's not going to be the Sam or the Mike or whatever you call it. He ain't going to be that. That's
Yeah.
going to be the guy from
He's gonna do the classroom part. Michael will be
yeah, right.
ready. We just got to see what his role is. So they're talking about Sanborn being the Mike and
Yeah.
Kenneth Murray being, but in the defense, if you playing the 4-2 or the 5-2, the linebackers they're kind of the same. It sounds like maybe Kenneth Murray is gonna be the one that's gonna be probably more free to just kind of freelance, and Sanborn will be the actual Mike. So some people are excited about Sanborn. I haven't really watched a lot of Sanborn tape. We might be able to pull up some tape on Sanborn. We did watch Kenneth Murray, but Sanborn knows the defense. And then I expect when they go into the nickel that you're going to see a lot of Leofow. And shout out to Stargazer. Her and I were tweeting this week about it's really time for Izzy and Wanye to kind of, make their debut. And if it's only, Wanye is going to be trying to compete for a starting position, but
Wanye is going to be Wanye is going to take the starting position.
So is it going to be Hooker or Dono?
That Wanye is going to take, I think it's going to be Hooker. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but Wanye needs to start over one of them. That's just the bottom line. And they're gonna be so good at the position if they're still if all three of them, well, if Hooker and Dono is still here when the season starts, you're just gonna have to do. And see, I don't know why people are not talking about this, but people got to understand and remember, Rod Marinelli defense is his defense that he run. That was his person that he learned it up under Eberflus. So you got to remember, in their defensive system, they rotate a lot. You know what I'm saying? In their defensive system, I don't know if y'all remember, but if y'all remember when we had Rod Marinelli, how we'll have Tristan Hill and them on first and second down, and then like they'll be running off the field, and then it'll be two other guys come in, and they did that constantly because we would always be like, yo, why isn't Randy Gregory in the game? Or we'll always be like, yo, where is Tank? And it's just like, he on the sideline because it's just not his rep yet. So that's kind of how they do. So with this
Hoodie
defense,
Kush is saying Bell is gonna be a factor. I like
man, he gonna be a factor. That's what I'm saying. They gonna all play. So I don't know if you can say, they gonna be starting and all of this.
They all should play, yeah.
Yeah, they gonna be all playing. That's what I was trying to say by saying that. You're gonna have a lot of players at the position to where they're gonna just be playing. It's not gonna be exclusive to anybody.
We did hear the kind of the rumor is that Bell is going to give up 14. They just trying to figure out what number he's going to change to, and he wants a certain number that somebody else has. So it's kind of like a domino effect. Once they can kind of get his number situated, then Pickens is going to get 14. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and they might. If I was them, I would if I was Pickens, I would do something like more like a classic Cowboy. I would.
So who's wearing 41? What? I thought why wouldn't Bell wear 41?
Uh, let me see who's 41. And why who's 41?
That's what I'm asking. I think that's what Bell should wear.
Nick Vigil.
Nick Vigil.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bell can get that number, but they're saying Bell wants a single digit number.
Oh no, it says what's the name? Nick Vigil. That's an old number, but they said 41 is easy.
Oh, that's easy.
Hmm.
And that's
I mean,
not a
I
good
guess
number.
it says
Yeah.
active Kyrie Elam 20, Donovan Izaraku 41.
That's an odd number for him.
Yeah, that is
But
an
yeah,
old.
Hoodie Kush. I think Sanborn Carson gave that up and Vigil has 41. Yeah, that's but we gotta get the whole number thing figured out. But I think Pickens is gonna end up with 14. I don't like him wearing 13, and I wouldn't have him wearing that number in training camp. I wouldn't.
Yeah, not me neither.
Get him out of that.
Yeah,
Get
that's
him out of that, and don't give anybody 33 this year. That's just goofy.
yeah.
Stop doing it.
And
Stop doing
13
that.
is not. We don't need that. And no. Uh, but yeah, he gonna get 14. So in the 4-2-5, you got 4 down linemen. So our lineman is gonna be probably what Micah, Easy, um, Osa, and
And Mozzie right now,
Mozzie.
if
But
they
it's
if
the
they
but it
trade for
no no
DJ Reader,
no it's the other defensive tackle from the Jets,
Solomon Thomas,
Solomon Thomas.
I saw
So
him yesterday. He looked like Tyrone Crawford to me. I ain't
he looked
feeling it.
like Dak to me.
Yeah, but they showing them. They had a full body
Oh
picture of him.
oh yeah. I mean,
But
what you know? Well, that's well. What position does he play? Is he a one tech or
he
what?
gonna play 3 tech.
You know, they say that you say he look like Tyrone Crawford, but I mean, Marshawn Nealon look like Tyrone Crawford.
Uh, I
They
think I
ain't
think
no,
Nealon is different, um, but we got a one of the content creators I'm listening to the other night. I got to run this by you. They're saying that Brevin Span Ford is looking really good. This content creator, he's saying he think that some of these tight ends are gonna bump Schoon off the roster. So what do you think?
in our world, that would happen. That would happen in our world. I can't wait to see Jay Toya either. And see, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna be rotating a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because you're gonna have Solomon Thomas, Jay Toya, Mozzie. They're gonna all play.
but they need a couple of veterans in there though.
They need DJ Rita. You know what I'm saying? But
So you
you
got
know,
DJ Reader, Roquan Smith might be available. So that's what they need to do to finish their room out.
their philosophy, what they have is what I don't like is the committee thing that they got going on. They be having this running back by committee, wide receiver by committee. And they gonna do linebacker by committee. They gonna do defensive tackle by committee. If they can't find a solidified starter for a position, they'll committee it up. And I just don't, I don't like that. It's just like, oh, we can't find a starter for defensive tackle. So what we gonna do
Well,
is
you
we
know
gonna
the
throw Mozzie out there, Jay Toya out there, and Solomon Thomas out there.
the OGs like me. That's what Jimmy did. Jimmy he was the first coach to really do this defensive lineman rotation. He was just coming in with just waves of guys, and it kind of threw the offenses off guard when he started doing that.
Yeah, until
So,
you
but
run up on Aaron Rodgers and he hitting you upside your head with penalties, boy, because y'all can't
yeah,
get off the field.
you gotta watch out for that.
Who
But
has 28? Who has 28? Uh,
I don't know.
let's see. I'm finna look it up. Let's see.
So yeah,
Malik Hooker has 28.
oh Malik Hooker, yeah.
He ain't giving that up. And that's Darren Woodson number, so he ain't giving that up.
So you think Schoon still has a sponsor? Is Shotty gonna want to protect Schoon, or is Shotty gonna be just like, I'm trying to win, I want the best guys? Because you got, if Brevin Span Ford is looking good, we think Fairweather is gonna be a sleeper. Pull up our Fairweather film right quick.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say about that.
Vach Lombardi, shout out to Vach. He got him and Brian Broaddus announced their new show they're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
But Vach, he's got Fairweather as his sleeper also. And Broaddus likes Fairweather too. Look, if Fairweather has a good camp, John Stevens bounce back, You can't tell me that Schoon is safe.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, and this is what I'm gonna say about that. What we learned last year was that we learned that Shoddy and Mike McCarthy, they was saying uh the best players on the field. I mean, that's what they was doing. Like you would just get benched on with their coaching staff. That's what will happen. You would
They
get
pulled
pulled.
Guyton.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get pulled and you won't play again until you bout that action. That's what happens with their staff. So I don't think Schoon has a sponsor, but at the same time, I don't think those other guys are going to be able to just beat him out.
Mm.
I don't think that. I think that Schoon gonna be at practice and he's not gonna be missing no block assignments.
Who's sloppy, KC?
Uh, uh, Schoon ain't safe now. I don't think he's safe either, but I don't think he gonna just give up his position willy nilly. I think that he gonna be out there on the field and he not gonna miss no block assignments. They gonna be throwing it to him and he gonna be catching it. He gonna making it being a possession
I
tight
just don't
end.
think he's that good.
He's not, but he's not gonna be that bad to get removed.
Well,
You know,
we finna see.
I just think that Brevin Span Ford is him and Schoon. I mean, Brevin Span Ford, he probably got some soul. You know what I'm saying? He probably got some moves, but but this guy that we about to look at now, this guy got better yak than all of them combined. To me, I think if you
He's a sleeper. This guy we
yeah
finna look at.
if you want to go based off of that, then you should definitely be looking at him.
We just got to figure out why he wasn't drafted.
Yeah. That's what you got to find out because this dude is he's good. Let me see.
So Keith, you off?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Schoon is safe, Hoodie Kush. I don't.
Nah. Schoon.
Schoon better than Ferg.
Nah,
Lake West Chase. Appreciate you joining the show.
I don't know about
So
that.
this is this what's Fairweather's first name?
Let's see. I don't. Rivaldo.
Rivaldo. Wow.
That's what it says. But Rivaldo got them hands and he got some good yak. He be going in like that play right there. Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty good. Now why he don't get drafted? I don't know. That one right here too. That was a hell of a catch.
He went to Auburn,
Yep.
and Auburn they ain't been on the map.
Yeah, that's what it is. If these guys block better, it's a wrap for Schoon. Because look at that. All these guys is catching the ball. And like I said, these brothers got soul. They know what time it is. They trying to come in. They not passive. They look at this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? He ain't shy, no contact. Yeah, nah,
So
he's a
this is
better player.
Ronaldo Fairweather, and a
Rivaldo,
lot of
yeah.
people are talking about him. So now what he got to do? He just got to transfer it
Golly,
to
look at that
camp.
catch,
You
man.
know,
But I mean, this is John. This is I don't know why. This is John. What's his name? My
who?
the tight end that we want to make a comeback.
John Stevens.
Yeah, this is John Stevens 2.0. This who he is.
Yeah, John Stevens looked the same way.
You know what I'm saying?
Then he
Hurt himself twice.
hurt his knee. So hopefully John Stevens can come back and just have a clean camp. You know, don't he's a talent. Look, if you got this guy right here and John Stevens and Brevin Spans Ford, if they just showing up in camp, and again, I highlighted this earlier. These are the guys that Joe Milton are going to be throwing to in these preseason games.
Well, yes, he says this run game is going to be predicated on athleticism on the O line and tight end positions. I'm gonna put it like this: because we running a zone offense. The center, BB, Tyler, Tyler Smith on one side, and then the other Tyler on the other side. They're gonna be smashing in the middle of the field. They're gonna be getting to the second level for sure. And so when you have a running back, and we run our zone, so it's kind of like when you let the running back pick the hole and then just it's slow to the ball and then take off. When you got one of the fastest running backs in the league, he gonna be a candidate for rookie of the year if you ask me. I think he gonna be
You talking about Blue?
candidate. Yeah. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? We just real from I have a lot of confidence in Blue because I'm real familiar with him. I mean, you know, I watched him every single game this year. Every single game. And
He got
so
better. He got better every game. He was
every
better at the
game.
end of the year than he was when he started.
And he was single-handedly the reason why they won them couple playoff games. When they played against who did they play against after? No, before they played against dang
So they played Clemson, then Ohio State. He almost won the Ohio State game.
man, he definitely did. But he won the Clemson. But no, it was before that though. The game before that they played on Thanksgiving
Hmm.
that I was watching when they played Scatterboo and them, where he was just like tearing
Oh
them
yeah,
up.
Arizona State. Yeah,
He was just tearing them up every
I
time they
forgot
handed him the
about
ball.
that.
Man, every time they handed him the ball, it was just like he was gone. You know what I'm saying? And then him catching the ball out the backfield is next level. He like, you know what I'm saying? Like that part of his game is like,
He
you
was
know
the
what I'm
best
saying?
rookie drafted at that.
Yeah, no, for sure he was. You know what I'm saying? He I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but his
Oh
game out the
yeah,
backfield
he's a talent. I
is
don't know if he's not gonna be an every down back, but he's a talent.
well, I won't even put it past him to be an every down back because in our system, we just okay, in our system in most NFL systems, do anybody have an every down back? You know what I'm saying? Like Derrick Henry I guess you could call Derrick Henry an every down back, but for most of his career,
Saquon.
yeah. And for most of his
Yeah.
career, Derrick Henry wasn't an every down back. So it's just like, these every down back, no, these running backs need a break because they running fast, they get in car accidents every play. So
Mm.
Jaden Blue, I think that he's gonna lead the team in rushing.
Hmm.
I think that he gonna lead the team in rushing. I think that he gonna
Not
get better.
Javante Williams.
Yeah, he gonna be right behind Javante Williams. Javante Williams is gonna be the starting bell cow. He gonna be the one that's really standing in there and getting the mojo flowing. And then when they put Blue in, towards the end of the season after the bye and all of that, Blue gonna start. His role gonna increase and increase and increase. I wouldn't be surprised if like you have it to where you have a couple of running backs that have 100-yard games, a couple times this year. You might have a situation where Javante got, 100 yards and Blue got 100 yards because Blue will take it to the house, from the 20. You know what I'm saying, with one play. You know what I'm saying. So, what I want to see from Shotty though, I want to see from Shotty. I want to see him, uh, designing the offense to where we have receivers wide open like the rest of the NFL. We playing in the other NFL. You playing the Eagles, people be wide open. You playing the Chiefs, people be wide open. Lamar and them, we don't even know who their receivers are because they be wide open. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? For Shotty be but like as far as talent goes, like Miles said, on paper, we just as good as everybody else. Better at it, better. You know what I'm saying? With that one acquisition and then with the draft, if you just go, let's just look at the champions. You got you got the Kansas City and you got the Eagles. When you look at our wide receiver core, is our wide receiver core better than the Eagles? It is. It is. Is CD and AJ Brown? Is CD better than AJ Brown? He is.
I think he is.
No, he is.
They
It's a fact.
close. AJ
Yeah, yeah,
Brown
yeah.
is good.
No, AJ Brown is good. He is. He
Now I
definitely
think
better.
Pickens is better than Devontae Smith.
No question. And but he's there too. He's right there. So, but is Ferg better than Dallas? Is Ferg better than Dallas Goddard or Zach Ertz? Yeah, he is.
They talking
Um,
about moving on from Dallas Goddard.
I would sign him. Uh, is 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 our line better than their line?
The Eagles,
Yeah.
not at the moment.
Well, Tyler Smith is. He's better than they left tackle
I mean, we are up and coming line, but they are the best. They had the best line in the NFL right now.
for sure on both sides of the ball. So we right there though on the offense. You know what I'm saying? Our weak link is Tyler Guyton. But for us to be able to say that on paper, that's a good thing because
Mm.
last year you couldn't say that at all. Last year,
but with Clayton Adams and Connor Riley, I think in a year we gonna be one of the best units.
Keith said he on his way home. See y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. I'm gonna have to get up. I guess get up early.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Well,
might have to tell him to come pick me up.
we can go ahead and wrap. We can go ahead and wrap up, wrap it down.
Still,
Let alone.
also, so he riding home. So let's give him about 10 more minutes ride home, so we can talk about something while he listening to us on his ride home.
But
What else
yeah,
can we talk about?
I think the Connor Riley Clayton Adams edition is going to give us a chance to catch the Eagles on the offensive line thing. So that's kind of what we got in store. I think Clayton Adams, he's going to be a hot candidate for a head coach. If we have a good year this year and then follow up another year, he's not going to be somebody that we're going to be able to keep. He's a
Yeah,
really up and coming coach that a lot of teams are looking at. He kind of has the charisma
yeah,
for it.
he does. You
And
know,
then
he's gonna be like how what's the name was
who?
from Detroit.
Oh, Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And Shotty's calling the plays, but that don't really matter in today's NFL. You got a lot of coaches that get jobs when they're not calling plays.
See, but
But
really, my thing is just like this. One thing that I always want to see the Cowboys do that they don't seem to do, well, especially these coaches that we've had, offensive coordinators that we've had, they don't do this. And what that is scheme against the opposing team, specifically for what that team does, but specifically for what that team is bad at, capitalize on it. Like
Mhm.
Cowboys in the '90s,
that's what
they had.
Norv did. Yeah.
Exactly. They had a few things that if you couldn't stop it, they were gonna do it all night until you stop it. And you didn't stop it, that's just what's gonna happen. And, it's just like the Kansas City, they do that. It's just like Lamar, he do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you can't stop us from doing this little play action boot over here, and every time we do it, Lamar gets 20 yards, we're gonna do it all game. And then right when you do stop it, we're gonna start running now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
That's what
like
Norv Turner used to do.
right. And so the Cowboys don't do that. It's just like when we had Kellen Moore, it's just like he run the same plays every game, no matter who we playing, no matter what order, it don't matter. He gonna just run the same plays. It's like with Mike McCarthy too. Mike McCarthy, it was just like he had, to me, it felt like Mike McCarthy had plays 1 through 100. And we're gonna run plays 1 through 100 no matter what happens. If it's
hmm
3rd and 15, we still gonna run this number 33. It don't matter
hmm
what it is. It don't matter if it's a draw or not. It don't matter if this team can't if this team can't has a bad secondary. It don't matter. We gonna still run the ball 50% of the time. When even though they have a bad secondary, we should be throwing the ball 70%, 75% of the time. So it's like
And the players picked up on that. They didn't like that.
they didn't like that 2 years in a row. And this first year that they didn't like it, they went into the office during the bye.
During the season, yeah,
Yeah,
after the 49er game.
after the 49er game, and they came back and they hit a switch. Okay. And then
And the rumor is they did it with Shotty.
yeah, that's the rumor. That's you can easily see that though. You can see that. You know what I'm saying?
But this last year, McCarthy was just like he ain't talking to Shotty. He ain't doing nothing. And of course, Dak got hurt. Now I will say this in McCarthy's defense: if Dak had played 17 games, Michael had played 17. Uh, who else got hurt? Tank, um, Diggs. If everybody
our starters,
if everybody had stayed healthy, we would have been. I think we would have made the NFC Championship game, despite what was happening at the beginning of the year.
and then on top of that, it's just like Rico didn't even play until the end of the season.
And Rico wasn't playing because they was doing the Zeke thing.
See,
So, but yeah, it's
so
gonna.
last year it was easy to tell that the front office and the players and the coaching staff were not on the same page. The coaching staff was
No.
going against the players. I'm talking about Mike McCarthy specifically, and
Mhm.
he was also beefing with the Joneses. He was hulling them out on purpose.
And it took them about 7 games to get things situated, and then like the last
Overshawn got
10
hurt.
game, yeah. Oh, we forgot Overshawn. If Overshawn had to play 17 games, I think
That
we're in the
alone,
NFC Championship game.
that alone, the way he was flying around, like I said, That would.
Overshawn and Micah, if they had to play
Oh my
together for
god,
17
that
games,
would have been crazy. And then,
Overshawn was gonna make the Pro Bowl. He was gonna be out. He was gonna be our pro.
man, you think about that game when Michael played against Minnesota that first year when he was just like flying past people, making tackles.
That was
Oh,
Overshawn.
Overshawn was doing that to Micah. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he was closing on guys. You know what
You remember
Micah.
the Thanksgiving game? Overshawn just took over the game.
I mean, like, come on, man. I mean, like, he be hitting people so hard that we be like, all right, y'all need to just take him out because that was too much. He gonna get a penalty for a regular tackle. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, come on, man. This is like he's like a torpedo. So it's just like, that team last year, you know, we had a lot going on that was just confusion everywhere. Dak was hurt. Dak was hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Micah,
we had too many injuries, and
I think Micah wasn't even hurt like that. He just was just like, I'm not, I ain't.
I'm just gonna take a couple of weeks off.
That's exactly what I feel like because
Nah, he got hurt.
Micah will play through anything. I guarantee you, if Micah was just like,
He
nah.
wouldn't have came back and played the way he did if that was the case. So Hoodie Kush, we was talking about Gaten earlier. We saw a couple of photos of Gaten. He looked like the Sasquatch over there, the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So he look like he about 7 feet tall. He like he done put on some weight. So we looking for Tyler Gaten. We ain't pulling against him.
Nah, and like
So
I
he
said,
need to play. He needs to step up. We hearing that he might be working with Duke. So, but yeah, we looking for Tyler Guyton to do some great things, man. We don't have time for him to not play well. So hopefully he can. And
what's
then
the okay? Go ahead.
no, what we finna say?
I'm trying to find this picture. Where was that? Where would I be able to find that at? That picture.
Probably on Twitter.
Yeah.
You don't
Who's
do you
Twitter?
don't do a lot on Twitter. Just type in Tyler Guyton.
I did. That didn't work. Let's see. But anyways, yeah, you can keep talking what you saying.
But yeah, so with this culture and what they trying to build with the locker room with all the players, he's gonna get caught up in that. So if he's gonna be a good player, he's gonna be a good player. He's not gonna have no excuse not to be. And with the coaches that he got, Connor Riley and Clayton Adams, he not gonna have no choice but to just show up and play big. I think he should play a lot of preseason. I don't think they should keep him out. They should let him play. He should play in the first and second quarter in both preseason games. Guyton only played 8 games in college, so yep, exactly.
And then everybody has been saying that this off season he has been in the weight room religiously.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can because he looked huge. For sure, he looked huge. I'm trying to see. I think I might have finally found it, but yeah, he looked huge. Compared to how he looked last year. Homie was big. When I seen him. And then the other guys, like I said, they not gonna not bring him along. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they're gonna
So
bring him along and the coaching and but and we got to look at so the Eagles, who they got on their edge? They got Nolan Smith. Who is their other edge? Because one of their edges retired. The guy that he played good in all their Super Bowls. Um,
and I'm not just saying this because I don't like the Eagles like that. But I think they're gonna take a step back because they lost a lot of players, and I think that this is this past season for them was it was
and they had somebody.
this past
I
season for
lost
them.
this
Go
minute.
ahead, go
See, I
ahead.
lost the stream for a minute. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you back now. So it says, yeah, I mean, so I didn't find it, but anyways, hold on, I think you might have dropped off again. Okay, you back now. But yeah, it's just like Tyler Guyton, we gonna see. All eyes is gonna be on him, and I think he going to step up. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some. I got some kind of echo now, so we can go ahead and wrap.
Shotty had Russell Wilson. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap, y'all.
Appreciate
Everybody,
Hoodie Cook join us, man.
yeah, appreciate you,
Appreciate
man.
you, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. We appreciate that. We appreciate y'all kicking it
B
with us on our
Bird.
Saturday night live. So y'all, we gonna bounce. So y'all make sure y'all be safe tonight. If anybody doing anything tomorrow for Memorial Day, is it Memorial Day, right?
Yeah, and shout out to all the veterans, and we honor your service and the ones that are no longer with us.
Right. And so, y'all make sure y'all be safe if y'all doing anything. And yeah, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, love, peace, and so we'll see y'all next one.